Hi, my name's Lashwana Muhammad, and I'm the CEO and lead fundraising consultant at The-Grant-Writer.com. And today I just want to take a moment to talk about getting grants and you being able to answer the question, are you grant ready? Being grant ready involves more steps than people are prepared for. And so the first thing you need to look at is having your organizational background data together. So you need to have a document or a folder or place where you have stored your address, your phone number, your web address. You will also need a narrative history of your organization. How did you start, and what were the major points on your timeline to up to where you are now? You'll need to document the year you were established. You'll also need your mission, vision, and value statement, along with your service area and location, who's the head of your organization, and then your primary grant contact. That could be a staff member, it could be your CEO, it could also be a volunteer or a contractor that you've hired. You'll also want to have your social media links available. In addition to that, you're going to need the number of full time staff, the number of part time staff, the number of volunteers, and your volunteer roles. The next part comes under governance. You can do that by having an organizational chart together. You will also need a board roster, which should include the following information about each of your board members: their contact information, their community affiliations, meaning like who do they work for? Do they work for another major corporation in the area? Are they connected to a small business? Are they a small business owner or a business owner themselves? And then you want to have the demographics. Are they male, female, and what is their ethnicity? In addition to that, you'll need some foundational documents which can help with your proposal development or helping a funder to understand your organization. It also shows how prepared you are in the way of being a sustainable organization. And that those documents would be your current strategic plan, a case statement, a fundraising plan, and a marketing plan. I also recommend that you have some program information together, and that means a detailed program or project description, which should include the year you were established, your target population that you're going to serve, and the number of people served in the previous year, and what were your outcomes. Um, and then you want to have your key staff qualifications. For example, the person that leads this program, are they required to have any degrees or licenses or certifications in order to do what it is that they're doing for you? And then, most important, your evaluations data. What are you measuring to determine your program's success? What do you predict will happen in the next year if you continue providing these services? You'll always need to be able to justify your work, and so you'll want to have that information here. And then you want to get permission from some of your clients to do a write up and success stories. What's the impact of your work? How has it changed people's lives? The next thing is your financial information. Clearly determine your fiscal year. Is that from October to September, like the federal government, or is it the calendar year, or whatever your standard is for your fiscal year? You want to have that noted. And then you want a detailed organizational budget. That is how much it takes to run your organization for the year, as well as what kind of funds you have coming in to support your work. Another type of budget you want to have is a program or project budget. That's the budget that deals specifically with maybe you're asking for funding for an after school program, or to build your organization's capacity. Whatever that is, you'll want to have a budget specifically for that. You'll want to be able to produce any financial statements that a funder may ask for. So that means, you got to have someone that is either a bookkeeper or knows accounting procedures. The next thing is your most recent audit. Nonprofits should be audited every year, so you should have an audit. And then you want to have a list of your sources of funding. You also want to, on that list, include how much they're funding you for, and you can also include, potential funders or people that you plan to ask funding for on that list. The next thing are your tax documents. That, of course, includes your IRS tax exempt letter, along with your 990s, which you should be filing every year, and a W-9. The other information, I recommend like a one-page document, like something about your organization or a brochure, and make sure that you have completed any relevant registrations. For example, if you need to be registered with grants.gov, you need to do that before you begin your grant writing process, because sometimes the registrations could take a few weeks or a few days. And you don't want to get close to a deadline having to complete that step. I also recommend that you have a list of any relevant portal logins, specifically making that information available to the person that's writing grants for you. It's a key piece. Kind of makes the work go a little bit easier when they don't have to keep emailing for login, password, and email information. So just have your list together. And that's about it. That gets you, on the way to being grant ready. If you need any assistance with developing any of these documents, or you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. You can, my website is www.the-grant-writer.com. Or you can just send me an email at LaShawana@The-Grant-Writer.com. And good luck to you. And I also have some information on the website about being grant ready, and you can download a free checklist as well. Thanks. Bye.